here we are discussing the topic, the function of criticism at present time. We presented this topic in the four parts. First part presented by Sir Zara and second Anishka Shahid, third Mariam Rashid and fourth Iman. Here are the content we described in this topic Matthew Orner intro. Then overview of the essay, honored concept of criticism, key point of the essay, function of criticism, relevance of the honored's idea today, and conclusion. This is a picture of Matthew Horner, then Horner's biography and background. Matthew Horner was born on 1822 and died 1888. He was an English poet, critic, and educator. Educator means teacher, yeah, instructor. Early life and education. Matthew Horner was born on December 24 and 1822 in England. He was the eldest son of the Thomas Horner and Mary Penrose Horner, and his father was renowned historian and educator. Matthew's early life was marked by the love for the literature and poetry encouraged by his father. Education. Honored first joined the school where his father was a headmaster and later studied as Balliol College, Oxford. At Oxford, he was deeply impressed by the work of the William Wordsworth, P.B. Shelley, and John Keats. Career. After graduating from the Oxford, Arnold worked as a school inspector, a position that allowed him to travel extensively throughout England. This experience deeply impressed his writing as he observed the social and cultural changes taking place in Victorian England. Literary career. Honored poetry career began in 1840 with the publication of his first collection, The Spirit Revealer, on other poems in 1849. However, it was the second collection, Empedoclical on Etna and Other Poems, 1852, that gained him widespread recognition. Honored famous work. Some of the honored most noticeable work included Double Beach in 1867, then The Scholar Gypsy 1853, and Culture and Anarchy 1869. In 18 Double Beach in 1867, a poem that explored the disillusionment of the Victorian era, and The Scholar Gypsy express a poem that reflects on the tension between intellectual pursuit and worldly desires, and then Culture and Anarchy 1869, a collection of the essay that explored the relationship between culture and society. Then we discussed the themes in the essay, the relationship between the culture and society, the role of the critic, the importance of the intellectual curiosity. Then the relationship between the culture and the society. Honored explored the connection between the culture, production, and societal value. The role of the critic. Honored reflect on the responsibilities and challenges faced by critics in evaluating and interpreting artistic and literary work. And then the importance of the intellectual curiosity. Honored promote the value of the intellectual curiosity and the pursuit of the knowledge in critical inquiry. The themes, the relationship between culture and society. ये दोबारा से वही कर दीजिए next. Style and delicacy. This essay is written in a formal critical style with ornament using rhetorical device. Rhetorical device is a technique which use the meaning, references, and emotional things we use in the literature and literary references to make his argument. This essay is structured as a series of the reflection on the state of the criticism and the culture in Victorian England. Influence and legacy. The function of criticism at the present time by Matthew Arnold has had a significant influence on the literary theory and criticism. Arnold's idea about disinterested criticism and the importance of the knowledge and intelligence have shaped the development of the literary studies and continues to be relevant today. I have to explain is the honors concept of criticism. That what are the honors point of view on criticism? So the first point is disinterestedness, means that be fair and unbiased. So the criticism must be free from personal interest, politics, or narrow perspectives, and the aim of the criticism is to judge works impartially based on merit and universal standards. And he says that a critic should not judge a book, movie, or art based on personal likeness or dislikeness. They should look it with an open mind and think about its real quality. For example, if a critic does not like the science fiction, but is reviewing a science fiction movie, so he should still judge it based on how well it tells the story, not just because he don't like the genre. So the second point is the role of ideas, means that the spread of good ideas. Criticism helps spread the best ideas to enrich culture, intellectual curiosity, and truth-seeking are vital. For example, means that criticism should highlight the best ideas and help people understand them. And the goal is to share knowledge that makes people think and grow. For example, a critic explaining how Shakespeare's plays are still important helps others to learn about the timeless themes like love, power, and the human emotions. So, next, the third is improving culture. Criticism defines public taste and understanding. It acts as a mediator between great ideas and society. It means that the criticism should make people smarter and improve their understanding of books, movies, and art. It helps people know the differences between good and the bad works. For example, a critic pointing out why a poorly written book is not worth reading. It saves the pupil's time and encourages the writers to create better stories. Then, not creating but evaluating. Criticism is not about producing new works but about evaluating existing works. It means that critics don't write books or make movies themselves. Instead, they study and explain the value of works that already exist. Next. For example, a critic explaining how John Milton's Paradise Lost reflects universal human struggles elevates its cultural value. For example, a critic reviewing John Milton's Paradise Lost should not focus on whether the poem is popular or it is fun to read. Instead, they should explain its deeper meaning, like how it talks about the human struggles, freedom, and choices. So here is the Arnold's touchstone method. It is a way of judging literature. He believed we should compare a piece of writing to the works of great authors like Homer, Shakespeare, or Milton. He considered them the great writers. And if a new work has the same high quality, it is considered great. This method is like using a standard or touchstone to check the value of something. For Arnold, great literature should always inspire and convey deep truths about life. So here is the Arnold's definition of criticism. Criticism is a disinterested endeavor to learn and propagate the best that is known and thought in the world. Focus on objectivity and intellectual independence, and criticism seeks truth, not personal biases or immediate utility. Example, a critic must evaluate Shakespeare's plays not for their popularity but for their universal ideas and artistic excellence. So here is the key points of essay. The first point is role in society. Criticism helps refine ideas, improving the quality of art and literature. This intellectual activity contributes to cultural progress. Then the second point is historical context. Arnold points out that the certain times in history are more favorable for criticism than others. He considers his era to be better suited for criticism than creative production. For example, the time of the peace is the best for critiquing something, and the time of war is the best for the writers to express their emotions and all. Then the search for excellence. Critics should always seek the best ideas and work, regardless for their origin, to enrich society's intellectual and cultural life. And the fourth point is criticism and truth. The critic's primary duty is to promote truth by studying and evaluating ideas with an open mind. And then is the avoiding narrowness. Critics must avoid being limited by nation, religious, or traditional boundaries and embrace a global perspective. about the function of criticism. So first we introduce the function of criticism. What is it? So it is basically the evaluating and interpreting the text, which is like the literature, art, and music, to analyze its meaning, understanding its meaning or the concepts. By the Matthew Arnold, it is basically the process to serve interpreting and evaluating the literature, to promote intellectual growth and cultural developments, and it also contains the disseminations of the ideas, concepts across the society. So there are many steps involved in it. So the first step that is involved in it is evaluating and interpreting. So first we evaluate it. So in this evaluation, it includes that disinterested test. So it includes a process like it is about the making judgments or decisions on the basis of the justice or by avoiding or preventing the personal ideas or opinions or biases. So it should contain like for evaluating literature based on its inherent merit rather than the personal biases or agendas. So it is basically the process like we can say that it is used for the fairly evaluating like the literature should be evaluated fairly and preventing the personal opinions, emotions, motivations or ideas. So next is the intellectual curiosity. So he emphasizes the importance of approaching literature with intellectual curiosity, seeking to understand the author intentions, historical context, and literary devices. So in the intellectual curiosity, it is based on the desires to get the knowledge, new ideas, concepts, and exploring the authors and their books, new ideas. So the next is the critical thinking.
Okay, this point is very important. As a student, we see the intellectual curiosity. We should develop this habit of intellectual curiosity. What he says, he emphasizes the importance of approaching literature with intellectual curiosity. If you have this intellectual curiosity, obviously you can understand and grasp more. I mean, what is the intention of the writer? With which intention he or she is actually producing that piece of art? And then you can say, obviously, the historical context is there. Rhetorical devices are there, mean in the historical context, what is the background of that particular piece of art, and then the different literary devices that are used by the writer to produce that from the perspective of stylistic, you can see, and to embellish his or her writing. So in that context, if you have the intellectual curiosity, obviously you are a better reader and you can also produce some works of your own at the later stages of your academic career. Okay, so you need to develop this habit. Intellectual curiosity is there. The first point was discussed by the first presenter. It was the connection between society and the culture. You need to understand the societal norms and cultural, parameters in order to understand the piece of literature. The second point was, what was the second one? Yes, there was another point that she was discussing.
The role of critics.
The role
Modern
of
views on criticism. The role of critics.
critics. Yes, yes, you need to criticize, and for that, element of objectivity must be there. Or you need to put aside your personal biases and grudges, and then only to evaluate the work of art objectively. Clear? And now this third intellectual curiosity is there. So I have explained it. Next comes the critical thinking. Okay.
So critical thinking encourages critics to think critically about literature's analyzing its strengths, weaknesses, and literary values. So in this, it is basically the process to analyze the text actively, skillfully, critically analyze it. So critical analysis means that the distribution of the complex information into the understandable small parts.
So who are the critics, by the way, in your point of view? And you think that even these students are those who are the readers, they are also the critics?
Yes, they should be.
They can give their own viewpoint based on their own understanding. Okay? The way you actually take that piece of art, whether you agree with the different critics and their viewpoints, or you have your own viewpoint or disagree. Okay? And yet you see Arnold encourages critics to think critically. So, mean as a reader, you are also among those critics, those who are evaluating a piece of art and analyzing its strengths, weaknesses, and literary value. You may analyze whether there are different strengths to take that piece of art. certain follies, shortcomings are there, weaknesses are there, and then the literary value of work. How can you judge the literary value of that work? The second presenter, I think, has explained in that context. You need to actually use the great works of the past as a touchstone. They are there just to, now you are using a meter rod, that is the standard length to measure the piece of cloth, you can say. And then you are using a pot in kg. When once you have to actually weigh something. But in case of uh, valuing a piece of art in literature, what is the touchstone? Great works of Shakespeare, yes, and then John Milton, and some other works are there. If someone is actually having the depth of the writing as the way those great writers, playwrights have produced the works, you may say that his or her work has that particular significance. So you may value on that, literally value.
So
Clearly.
it is also based on like the or make the man able to solve the problems and or addressing or identifying the complex issues.
So what is exactly critical thinking? Can you answer this question? What is critical thinking?
Like
As
to
per your
deeper,
own viewpoint.
deeper
I'm
the
asking feedback from the whole class. You are sitting here vigilantly, not to gossip here in the class. Just simply answer. Ask them one by one what is critical thinking in the perspective of criticism.
Okay, anyone want to answer this? What is critical thinking?
No, you need to mention their name. They are not anyone. No one is willing to answer them.
कोई भी बता दे.
Okay, explain for them. What is critical
So
thinking?
critical thinking is basically like the deeper understanding of the context ideas that are delivered by the authors that are basically that the aims of the authors to convey their perspectives. So we have to like deeper understand it and like it is basically the distribution or the mixture of the complex informations which we can divide into the smaller parts, understandable parts.
And then you need to develop an objective outlook,
Yes.
put
Like
aside the
basically,
subjectivity and personal
yes,
biases.
and based on the objectivity. So the next is the contextualizations. Arnold stresses the importance of understanding literature within its historical, cultural, and the social context.
Once
So
again,
it
it's a
is
repetition. Like you need to keep in mind the historical importance and
background.
then cultural and social context. These are very important. Carry on.
So it is based on the cultural development, the environment, and the atmosphere. So like it is, we can say that it is based on the cultural environment and the atmosphere. So it contains the three contexts: historical, culture, and the social context. So in the historical context, it is based on the identifying the backgrounds, historical backgrounds, events, and the norms of the past. Cultural, it contains the cultural backgrounds, cultural beliefs, and values. And the social context, it is like identifying about the relationships and interpreting the text. So the next is authorial intent. He believes that critics should strive to understand the author's intentions rather than imposing their own interpretations. So it is about like when we interpret or analyze a text, so it should be like the criteria we should have to follow. Like it is based or related to the author's intentions, views, visions, or its originality of the text. Like it should maintain the originality of the text. It should prevent like creating our own perspectives. So it should belong. So next is literary devices. Literary devices and Ornet encourages critics to analyze literary devices such as symbolism, imagery, and the language to gain a deeper understanding of the context. So literary devices are the basic techniques that that the poet or the author used to convey his text in a unique way or in the new style to portray or to discover or promote his text in the unique way, new style. It contains the symbolisms, imagery like providing a vivid descriptions or the strong pictures in the speaker's mind, and symbolisms like to use different objects and ideas and use different objects and the elements to explore the ideas and concepts.
So all these are basically for the interpretation of literature. So which one is more complex to figure out of these three: contextualization, author intention, and then literary devices? Which one is actually more complex?
Authoritative.
Yes. Author intention. You need to actually study all these, historical perspective, cultural context, social context, and then the appropriate knowledge of all the literal devices that he is actually applying to produce it.
Like what he wants to portray or to give his perspectives and ideas or the concepts.
I think rest of the class is sleeping, huh? There is no response.
Next.
Key principles.
So here are some key principles. First is objectivity. Arthur advocates for the objective evaluation and interpretations rather than subjective personal opinion. As I have already told that it should be on the basis of like the justice system. It should based on the merit based. It should prevent the personal emotions or motivations or interests. So knowledge is here. He emphasizes the importance of knowledge and intellectual curiosity in evaluating and interpreting literature. So it is basically the part of applications of analyzing the concepts and ideas of the particular, like we can say the genre. So it includes like we can take it from like reading books, social media is also included in it. So it plays a vital role in it. Respect for the text, and Arler encourages critics to approach literature with respect, seeking to understand the author's intentions and literary value. It should it should based on the author's intentions with irrespective of providing our own perspectives and ideas about it. Like we should maintain the originality of the text in it. Guiding public taste and moral values. So it is a significant aspect of the criticism and it influences how people perceive and engage with the literary works. So here came some key points. So first is in guiding public taste is shaping literary canons. Critic helps determine which works are considered classics or the worthy of study, influencing the literary canons. Like it is based on the criteria to evaluate the interpreting and literature. It should contain the specific criteria to evaluate or interpret the text. Second is the influencing reading habits. Critics' recommendations and reviews can shape public reading habits, encouraging people to explore new authors or genres or topics. We can see that if anyone's read books recommendations, so it helps them to explore the new authors, new genres, new ideas, new concepts. The third one is setting standards for literary excellence. So critics establish criteria for everything literary merits, guiding readers in their essential for assessment of literary works. Like there should be the criteria of setting the standards for the excellence of the literary works. So these standards help the authors, writers to distinguish between the different literatures, and it also enhance the empathy. Empathy means that it should criteria it should promote the ideas and concepts of the different perspectives as well. Guiding moral values, evaluating moral themes and messages. Critic analyze how literary works portrays moral issues influencing readers' perceptions of right and wrong. Like it should, we can say the ethical and the philosophical phenomena, concepts are evaluated by the by providing the moral themes and messages. Like it is based on the how our society and the characters should work on the justice and fairness or promote justice and process of fairness. It should also promoted by the plays, dramas, or the poems, plays, so we can take messages from them. So the next is assessing the impact of the literature on the society. Consider how literary works reflect and shape societal values, morals, and attitudes. It should about how literature, the impact of the literature on the society is about the societal behavior, challenges, attitudes, and their behavior, and how they deal with them. encourages readers to think critically about the moral implications of literary works, fostering a deeper understanding of the complex issues. It like develop the self-awareness and self-confidence, so everyone can solve their problems confidently and identifying or assessing the complex issues easily. So challenges and considerations: subjectivity was objectivity. Critics must balance their personal opinion with objective analysis, avoiding imposing their own moral values or written, as I have already told it. Cultural and historical context. Critics must consider the cultural and historical context in which the literary work was written, avoiding anachronistic moral judgments. Like it is based on the historical backgrounds, like when was it written, when was it promoted. So the last one is respecting diverse perspectives. Critics should strive to represent diverse moral perspectives, acknowledging the readers may hold different values and beliefs. Like it is related to the many cultural beliefs, values. Like it
So
is
this
based on the words.
third point is very important in the context of readers. Like we have different moral standards. The way you are actually digesting a piece of art.
Yes.
But he says critics should strive to represent diverse moral perspectives. It varies from culture to culture, community to community, and then one society to another society, acknowledging that readers may hold different values and beliefs. Even your belief system has certain impact to while you are reading and trying to figure out different themes and messages from a piece of art.
So that's it.
Promoting cultural understanding and appreciation. That is for Georg, the fourth presentation. It was an excellent presentation. What's your name?
Video.
She tried her level best to even quote certain instances and examples to justify although it was the content was a bit difficult. Yeah.
As we know that in literary works like prose, essays, poetries, criticism always come at the end, mean at the lowest rank. But still, it is one of the most important things because we cannot always write great works. We need criticism as well. So let's start with the promotion of cultural understanding and appreciation as a function of criticism. We have cultural exchange programs, education and awareness, community engagement, media and arts, technology and social media. The first one is student exchange programs allow students to study abroad and experience different culture firsthand. Students can experience different kind of traditions and lifestyles. Culture immersion programs organize homestays. These homestays in the people with different cultures and different societies. Language classes of that local language and cultural workshops for individuals to immerse themselves in a new culture. Next. Then we have education and awareness. Culture studies and incorporate culture studies into school curricula to teach students about diverse cultures. Workshops and seminars. Host workshops, seminars, and conferences to raise awareness about different cultures and promote cross-cultural understanding. Then we have language classes.
So
Offer languages.
what is cross cultural understanding? Ask this question to your fellows.
Anyone?
When you are visiting abroad, like people coming from different continents, from different backgrounds, sharing their cultures.
Yes.
So here you need to communicate with the people having different cultural backgrounds. So cross-cultural communication is there. That particular time you need to understand the other person's mean thought pattern as per their own cultural norms and traditions. Yes.
Rituals. Language classes offer language classes to help people communicate across cultural boundaries. Community engagement. Cultural events organize cultural festivals, concerts, exhibitions to celebrate diverse cultures. Community outreach. Engage with local communities to promote cultural understanding and exchange. Volunteer opportunities provide opportunities for people to volunteer with organizations and promote cultural understanding. Then we have media and art. Cultural media produce and promote media content like films, documentaries, books that showcase diverse cultures. Art exhibition host art exhibition that feature work from diverse cultural backgrounds. music and dance performances, organize music and dance performances to celebrate different cultures. Then we have technology and social media, culture blogs and websites create online platform that share information about different cultures. Social media campaign allow social media campaign to promote cultural understanding and exchange. Online culture courses offer courses that teach about diverse cultures. Then we have role of critic. Before that, as you all know that how a great work is created. What is the most important thing for creating a great work? Idea, right? With idea, great works are created, and according to Matthew Arnold, two parts are most important for the creation of great work. Power of man, means individual talent and creativity, and power of movement. I mean the time when he is writing the author is writing. I mean enrichness of history, historical, social, and cultural context. So, what is the role of critics? According to Matthew Arnold, they are the role of critics: knowledge and expertise. The critic should possess a deep understanding of literature, history, and culture, as well as a keen analytical mind. Judgment and evaluation. The critic's primary task is to evaluate a work's merit and flaws, providing a thoughtful and informed assessment. Promoting the best. The critic should aim to promote the best work and ideas, helping to create a cultural climate that values excellence and intellectual curiosity. Challenging prevailing opinions. The critic should be willing to challenge dominant opinions and conventional wisdom, offering fresh perspectives and insights.
So, I mean, if he has or she has an intellectual curiosity, obviously, then he or she will be in a better position to critically analyze that work of art. So, here you see the critic should be willing to challenge dominant opinions and conventional wisdom, offering fresh perspective and insights. So, one in a better position to offer and to criticize and to evaluate, obviously, he or she should develop the intellectual curiosity. Okay. This is the main point about the pivotal point, you may say, and the entire discussion is just revolving around it.
The last one is fostering a sense of community. The critic should strive to create a sense of community among reader and the writer, encouraging a shared conversation about literature and culture.
Contextualization is there in this particular fostering a sense of community. You need to actually have the sense of a particular community. So, how can you have the sense of that community? If you have the contextual information to take their culture and social norms and then historical perspective.
Then we have relevance of Arnold idea with modern era. How Arnold's ideas are relevant today. Cultural gatekeeping. As Arnold believed, critics should disseminate the best ideas and culture. Modern critics play a crucial role in sifting through the vast amount of information and media available today. They help identify and elevate works of high quality and significance, guiding public taste and opinion. Impartial evolution.
Evaluation.
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 Evaluation. Unsolved for disinterestedness, as already been told that in disinterestedness means the critic should be unbiased and objective. Meaning the criticism should not be personal. There should be no personal interest. In criticism is still relevant. In an age of rampant information and misinformation, rampant means widespread and polarized opinion, the need for objective, unbiased analysis is more important than ever. Critics who strive for partiality can help provide balanced perspectives. Intellectual growth. Arnold saw criticism as a mean of promoting intellectual and cultural growth. Today, critics continue to challenge audience to think more deeply and engage with complex ideas. Through thoughtful analysis, they encourage critical thinking and appreciation of nouns arguments. Public discourse. In a digital age, criticism has become more accessible
So
and
once
widespread.
again you are reaching a discourse. From literary criticism, discourse is an umbrella term. Wherever you go, in which genre, obviously discourse is there. The text and talk in a context, that is a discourse. So now the public discourse is okay.
Social media platforms allow for democratization of criticism, where everyone can participate in discussions about culture and ideas. They can lead to a more vibrant and diverse public discourse, although it requires discernment to separate valuable criticism from noise.
Okay, who is giggling right now? She is supposed to answer what is public discourse. Who's there? Someone is giggling just. There is something, public discourse. Yusuf.
Like on social media, for people of every culture, every background, they can share their information about what they think about that or
The content on social media is there, and then the way people are commenting on it. Maybe whether they are just considering all those ethical and moral codes over there or not. Maybe they are in an argument. You may take that particular instance for research and evaluate the moral and ethical values of the certain community. Clear? That public discourse.
cultural enrichment. Arnold's vision of criticism contributing to advancement of civilization resonates today. Critics who highlight innovative and thought-provoking works help to push the boundaries of culture and contribute to the ongoing evolution of art and idea. At the last, we have conclusion. In his essay Function of Criticism at Present Time, Matthew Arnold concludes by emphasizing the crucial role of criticism in contemporary society. Here is the summary of conclusion. Arnold argued that criticism should prioritize the interested pursuit of truth and beauty rather than serving personal and national interests. He asserts that criticism must establish a current of fresh and true ideas, which can help us to navigate the complexities of the present time. Arnold also reiterates the importance of cultivating a sense of high seriousness.
So, do you have the high seriousness in class? All the time you are lacking this quality. So that's why you are not getting anything. So mean you need to develop this habit of high seriousness. Yes? In order to grasp all these ideas. Otherwise, mean the ideas are just going above your head all the time. It's happening.
Characterized by sincerity, simplicity, and a commitment to intellectual honesty.
Yes. Sincerity, simplicity, commitment to intellectual honesty, all these,
Things are missing.
yes, all these traits must be part of your personality.
Ultimately, Arnold believed that effective criticism can help to create a more informed, enlightened, and harmonious society. That's
That's
it. Any
all.
question?